near New York State border, Bradford, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. Off 81?
Off what?
Route 81.
Yep.
Like I live off 80, and 80 goes to 81 because I'm in Mount Pocono, so I'm fairly close by.
We took 80 a lot when I went to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I love Pittsburgh too. I'm a big fan of Pittsburgh.
It's my favorite.
Oh, good. You got good taste. All right, I like that about you. My wife and I
They're
love
the ones.
Pittsburgh.
They saved my life. I guess
Yeah.
I'll keep them.
Hmm.
Plus, they have the Pittsburgh Penguins.
I love the Penguins, and I like the Steelers too. I love the Steelers. I've been a Steelers fan just about all my life. So.
Those are alright. I'm 49ers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Most people are. You gotta take the good with the bad.
Yeah. I used to like it back years and years ago through the
When
like
they're good.
yeah, the 80s, the late 80s and early 90s. I like this. I like them. I like the 49ers a lot. But then in the 90s, I just fell in love with the Steelers because of like Bill Cowher and the coaching. And then I found out I learned more about the history of the team and how they're family owned and so close knit, and the community is like really, friendly and
It's a neat
wonderful
thing.
people. You said you love Pittsburgh. The people there, it's unbelievable. You go to that town and everybody treats you like your family.
Yep, they do. They pretty much do.
Yeah, it's really nice. Anna, you gonna sit over there? You gonna come over here? I want you to. Yeah. So, Lori, where you at?
Me?
Wait, that was Lori I was just talking to, correct?
Sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing.
Oh, it's okay. I'm patient. I try to be patient.
If you ask me, where am I?
Yeah.
Vancouver, BC, Canada.
Oh, okay. You're in the. And I was talking to you earlier about the website, correct? When I was trying out that new software.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was you. I knew I was talking to Susan. I was trying this new video software about so we could do a live broadcast of our Christmas party next week. And somebody from Vancouver was on there talking to me, and I thought it was you.
Well, it could have been someone else, too.
Okay, well that's wonderful. We have a lot of people all over the world, so it's okay. The more the merrier. It's nice.
There are a lot of people in Vancouver. I'm gonna tell me on it.
So how you doing, Susie?
Okay. I'm always okay.
What's that?
I'm always okay.
Yeah, I know that.
Just hanging in there.
But that'll be please too.
I was using my phone. Remember I told you I was going to use my phone on the desktop here, or the laptop, and my phone had to do an update, a whole system update. So I'm just sitting here on hold. Okay.
Is there any way to make this louder?
Are you on a phone or your computer?
My iPad.
The volume on there should be fine. That's the only way to really do it.
Well,
No.
right now, I have to
Yeah.
hold it to my ear so I can hear.
Oh wow. I would check
Maybe?
the settings on there because everybody hears me okay, correct? Susan, you hear me fine?
Fine.
Ashley, I'm okay with you too, right?
Perfect. Yep.
Yeah. I'm always testing. I'm paranoid about that stuff, so I'm always trying to make sure everything's okay. Well, Diane, and we got a new person. There we go. Hi, Diane. How are you?
Hi. How are you?
Okay,
I see you smiling there. That's cool. Very nice. We're just introducing ourselves a little bit, and we're waiting to see how many more people we can get on before we really start the conversation going.
Okay. Do you know what I do? I've been on a lot of radio
I'm sorry.
shows. I've been on a lot of radio shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I used to be on Brain Injury Radio Network with
Right.
them for a couple years, and I was a board member
Kim?
there.
With Kim or Bruno? Which host?
Me, I'm Michael Idell.
Yeah.
I was on there for about 3 years,
Yeah.
and I liked the way. I mean, there was some issues there because they were asking for money from nonprofit organizations, and I was like, we're on a fixed income. We can't be doing that kind of stuff. And we were already using Zoom for the meetings. And this is nice because we can do PowerPoint presentations, we can do video presentations, and you also get to interact one-on-one with the people and see them and things like that. So it worked out really good.
So how can I, I'm going to tell you, because I have to make some calls, but
Okay.
I'm just going to have you look at my website and what I do. I'm a survivor
Okay.
and also written the book, Coping with Concussion Mild Traumatic Brain Injury.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so, and I have all kinds of information on my website.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a special for Facebook people this week. So I'm just letting you know for the book because people have been struggling. And I've had multiple brain injuries and have helped a lot of people in the last 20 some odd years. And
Mm-hmm.
so I didn't know if you want to do that while I make some phone calls. Do you want to take a peek?
Well, we got a lot of people on right now.
Okay.
What I could do is I could take a look at it later, and I could talk to you privately about putting it on our website and helping. We could scratch each other's backs and do that.
Right, absolutely.
Okay.
So
But
how?
if you could mute the microphone. I can mute you if you'd like. If you want to make some phone calls and stuff.
Okay.
It's up to you. Or
Okay.
you can mute it.
What time? You're going to go on at 8
I'm sorry.
8 o'clock?
It's 8 o'clock our time now. It's 8:15 here.
Okay. Okay, if you want to do that, and then I can come back and wave to you.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
Good.
Thanks. Oh, you're making the tree? Oh, you guys, you see my wife? She's right behind me.
Yes.
how long is this presentation?
Well, we're all going to talk. It depends on how people want to get involved, how many people get involved in. As long as we stay on topic. But we'll see how things go. We played
What's your wife's name?
Anna.
Anna. Anna, I was explaining to Mike, if you want to look at my website, you can get an idea of what I've been doing and how I've been helping people. So I've had four brain injuries, brain surgery, and they told me I was permanently brain damaged. Just never going to walk, talk ever again. So I've written 2 books on the subject and speak and train other doctors now. So I'm a neuropsychologist, sports psychologist, health psychologist. I've worked with NFL players. So
Sounds interesting.
That's awesome. We could do an entire call just based on you and your background and stuff. We can do
So that
that.
if you, right, Anna?
Yeah, what's your website?
DrDiane.com. That's DrDiane.com.
Okay, I'm gonna take a look at it.
Okay, I'm going to mute you because, okay,
Yeah, that's fine.
okay.
Let's see what we got going on here. Very interesting. I love it. So we have Linda. I'm not sure who Linda is, but we got Lori in Canada, and Ashley is in New York State, just above here, right above here. Are you know where's that? Oh, um, who is remember what's his name that I played pool with that came here? Um, yeah, remember? Oh, Binghamton. Are you close by, Ashley? Are you close by Binghamton, New York?
No, not really, but
You know
not too
where
far.
Oh, you know where it is, though. I
I
have a
know.
friend that I play pool with in Jersey on Wednesdays, and he had an apartment complex at the college there in Binghamton. So we were talking about 81, and so he used to pass by me to go there because he owned the place, but he used to manage it from New Jersey, so he would go back and forth all the time.
That's neat.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There were so many little things that we used to do. Whoever that lady was, she just hung up. Linda. Let's see. I worked in Buffalo. I used to go up to
I'm only about an hour from Buffalo.
Howard. That's a long drive. Um,
Not when you're going shopping.
where else? Saranac Lake. I've been up that way. I remember going there when I was like 19. I loved it up there.
I've never heard of that.
It's there's a college up that way that my friend Kevin's wife went to. So we went up there and he saw her there and we went up there it was like a religious retreat, but it wasn't like crazy, it wasn't nothing nutty. And it was fun. I think I was just 19 at the time. It was a lot of fun though. I'm trying to
Let's
think.
see, what's near St. Bonaventure? Have you heard of that?
No.
Yes, I have.
Oh, Anna has.
Private Catholic. Let me think what else. Bradford?
Villanova, I think she went to. Villanova was the school that she went to. I think. I don't know. But I'm getting old. Okay, there we go. We're all on set now. Okay. Everything's good. So everybody's on a computer tonight, which is cool. Like, I'm gonna see if I could share the screen. If it's gonna work okay. We have a topic tonight we're gonna discuss, and I want to stay on topic. And we all have different stories, and we all have our backgrounds in the brain injury community together. And I'm going to share my screen. I'm hoping that I can get it to work for you.
Just like that. So, and chill this, then pull out the papers. You have your cake ready to serve right on the final pedestal.
All right, we got it. Okay, there we go. All right, let me see if you guys can see my screen. Do you guys see the picture that I have up there? Not my background, but what the text?
Yeah.
You can see it. Okay. Yep. That's the topic of the night. And that's what we're discussing. When did you realize the impact of your brain injury? So Susan's got the giveaway on that one because she was a baby when she had hers. So she when did Susan? When did you realize you had one? She was almost 3 years old when she had hers.
Are you trying to be funny with me?
I am being funny with you. You know that.
All my life, I
Oh,
guess.
I know. I can answer. I know my answer to that because I saw the extent of it. Like it's so detailed for me. It was when I realized it, but when it really had an impact on me was about 5 years. Over the next 5 years after my brain injury, that was really the extent of it. And it's still. I kind of learn a little bit even now, about it still. I can't see because I'm sharing my screen. Let me see what I can do here.
Hello.
Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So, who are the other? There was Ashley and Laura. Lori.
Yeah.
I'm
How
back.
long ago? How long? My brain injury when I had mine was this past October was 14 years. October 12th, 2003. So that was my little
Wow.
birthday, my new life birthday. And yeah, like I said, I was released from the hospital. They told me I was okay and I can go back to my normal life. And yeah, reality struck when I went back to work and I realized I couldn't remember anything I used to do. Like the complexity of it, what I went to school for and everything like that, done, gone. The simple basics I couldn't remember anymore. But I started rebuilding and things like that. And then when I went back over the next 5 years after that, then I started to go back to school. I went to college and changed my whole lifestyle. But I realized and I accepted the depth of what it's like to have a brain injury then. When memory retention and focusing and distractions and all that kind of stuff and the impact that all has. I realized the extent of it when I was multitasking and concentrating on things, and that was the cognitive aspect of it. I saw very, very much. So it was over a long period of time for me. Lori, would you like to speak?
Yeah.
Sorry. How long ago was your brain injury?
I couldn't tell you. Um, my sister said that when I was a baby, I was fine. But I have cerebral palsy.
Okay.
And ataxia. And they got a tracheotomy when I was 13. So, sometime when I was a baby, I guess.
Okay. So it's similar to what I was saying before about Susan.
Yeah.
Kind of just grew with it, and it wasn't like a big eye-opening experience. It's all you knew, really. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I deal with it.
Mhm.
Mm.
I hope you have a good sense of humor because we all do.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. But hey, I look at it as I'm unique.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said, I look at it as I'm unique.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. You're a person of your own. You're not
Yeah,
resembling anybody else. You're an individual. That's
yeah.
beautiful. That's exactly the way you should think. So, Ashley,
Yes.
would you like to share a little bit about yourself?
I got my brain injury in 2014
Mm.
when I was 30. And I realized that my life kind of went in the dirt right with my brain. So because I have 2 degrees, I was active working.
Hmm.
I have a 14-year-old son. And I was used to being independent, and now I hate asking for help.
Oh, okay. So that's a
It
big part of
frustrates me so much.
your pride.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I feel like you learn every day that you do it like this. You gotta learn something new all the time.
Oh, now I can see Lori. That's cool. I like the smile. That's good to see. I like that. Yeah.
Really?
Uh-oh. All this and music. Look at that.
Ooh.
Uh-oh. Where's the mute button? So, Ashley, what were you saying? How did you have your brain injury?
I was a passenger on a motorcycle,
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
and he was driving carelessly,
Mm.
and I paid the price. You know, the sad thing about that is I'd get right back on one.
Well, I don't, that doesn't surprise me because I had mine in a car accident. You know, I fractured my skull in a car accident, but that never stopped me from getting back into a car again. You know what I mean? So it's, you just gotta, I'm sure you say the same thing is, it's really, you gotta watch who you're with, not you, you know?
Or maybe just wear a helmet.
Oh, you didn't wear a
I need
helmet
a helmet
either?
on.
Oh my God. Yeah, well, I'm
Yep.
from
Oh
Jersey. You
my
can't do anything.
God.
You can't do anything without a helmet in Jersey, but
Nope.
here in Pennsylvania, you don't need one.
That's why I went. I thought it'd be all right.
Oh boy. How old was your son at that time?
He was 11.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I could smack you.
Yep. I yell at myself every day, and he
Yeah,
does too.
yeah.
He's at a tough age to explain to him what I was doing, why I got where I was.
Oh yeah, 11 years old. I mean, my
Mm-hmm.
boys, well, Brandon was 3 years old, so he just knows me as dad, and Aiden wasn't even born yet. So they just always accepted me for who I am now, you know. They didn't know me, anything before that. So
I
it's good.
just explained to Ethan that I'm 2 different people. I was Ashley back then, now I'm Ashley now. I
I
just said
didn't catch that.
there's different things about my personality. Like I have no filter.
Oh,
I
oh, it's
sometimes
something
swear like a parrot. Sometimes I'm blonde. No, I was never any of those things before.
yeah. I was, yeah, my wife, Anna, she wouldn't believe it, but I used to tell her I used to be really quiet. And I did. I mean, I know now. Especially now, like I don't hold back from saying anything. Part of it might be, the impulse control, but part of it's also just not. I don't hesitate to stand up for myself either. So it's kind of it could be the brain injury. It could be I'm not putting up with any more BS. That kind of
Makes
thing.
sense.
Life's too short. So you enjoy every
Yeah,
second.
it
You always
thinks
stand
you
up
have
for
to
yourself.
think out this way.
Yeah.
It's amazing it takes something like this for you to realize.
Yeah. Yep. That's one thing I always say as a survivor, and I tell people all the time, and that's with or without a brain injury, is enjoy every second you got while you got it, because it could be gone in a second.
You got that right.
You never know. And that's one big thing about us as survivors, that we could stand together and be proud, because we're still here. We're still vertical, and you got to enjoy it. You got to enjoy life. I mean, there's always people that are downers and stuff like that, but I try not to surround myself around people like that, because it brings you down and it aggravates you, and you start using that frame of mind, and you're going to be miserable. So it's not healthy. It's really
If they're
not.
negative, I delete them.
Yeah.
Because I can be mean enough on my own.
Yeah. Well, my wife is like, why are you so giggly? I'm like, well, why not? I'm always goofing around. Laugh with me or laugh at me, but you'll laugh.
Yep.
I'm always having fun.
Since my injury, that's all I do is laugh. Make
Yeah.
jokes.
Well, that's the beauty of the brain
You
injury.
have to.
I'm watching Diane because she keeps nodding when I say something. Yeah. I mean, her and Diane and Susan both got a lot of years on me. I mean, I'm 14 years, and they're into their 20 and 30 year. Like
Wow.
Susan just turned 25. That's what she found out last week.
Yeah.
Somebody on a conference call that we're having a support call on Tuesday afternoon, and one of the girls that were on there we were playing and guessing the age game, and they thought Susan was 25, and she was like, "Okay, I'll take it. I love you. Thank you."
I knew I liked her for some reason.
That was really cute. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get a refill.
What Michael was talking about, this is what I tell people all the time. I've had many years of experience with talking to people. I've got my master's, and I've done some post work. I mean, you just live your life and find out.
Where are you located?
In New Jersey?
Are you near New York City?
No, I'm in Jersey.
Okay.
Where are you located?
North of Boston.
Oh, North Boston.
Yes. Yes. So yours was how many years ago? 26? 25?
No, about, wait a minute. I'd say 50 plus years ago.
50 plus?
Yeah. I'm not 25. So, it was a month before my third birthday.
Which birthday?
It was a month before my third birthday.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So, can this seminar be emailed to me? I'm sorry.
What's that?
Can this seminar
This
the
one here.
email because
This
I'm
one here.
planning to go on a trip
I'm
and
sorry.
I got stuff to do.
Okay. Oh, you want me to send it to you later?
Yes, please.
Okay, yeah. I'm recording this, and I can play it back for you later. That's fine. As long as everybody says it's good, then we do that. As long as I have consent from everybody, so that's fine.
Thank
I have no problem with that at all.
you very much and Merry Christmas.
You too, Lori.
You
Thank
too.
you.
You.
Happy Hanukkah.
What's up, Diane?
It's Aaron. I my consent.
What's that noise?
What?
No, I'm just hearing crackling.
Oh my.
Families.
The wood burning by the fireplace.
Yeah, you can see behind me, Diane, you're new here. Well, you, Ashley, and Lori are they're new. It's your first time here. You can see behind us, we're setting up for our Christmas party next Friday night here at the, we just opened a month ago. So
Is that your facility?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
All
nice.
part of it. There's more behind you. But
Where are you located?
we're in Mount Pocono. We're in Tobyhanna. So we're in Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. So in the Poconos.
Yeah. Where are you at? Where are you located?
I'm north of Boston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm
No, what
from-
he was saying, Merry Christmas. I says, it's also Hanukkah.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Diane. I wanted to introduce myself and say hello.
Hi, Aaron?
Oh, there you go.
Yes,
Hi, Aaron.
hi.
Oh.
Yeah, usually I've just been here the last couple of weeks and I've been listening to everything, but you were new, so I wanted to introduce myself.
Hello.
Well, it's nice to see you. Yeah, I had a stroke 6 years ago, so.
Well, I have had all the above.
Yeah, oh my God, it's a nightmare to recover from. Oh, 6 years and a brainstem stroke, and I
Right.
was only 39 when it happened, so.
Should I introduce myself at this point, or?
Sure,
You
yeah, no,
should.
go ahead.
Well, I had my first auto accident, in 1987. And then I had the cerebral bleed while driving and had a 60-mile-an-hour head-on auto accident in 1990. And then 5 months
Oh
later,
my God.
5 months later, I had brain surgery, had a portion of my brain removed. And in that accident, I injured my optic nerve, my right jaw, 4 cervical, 3 thoracic, 3 lumbar, both my knees. And I put my tongue down the middle, and my husband said, I always knew wife spoke with forked tongue. And they said in 1994, I was permanently brain damaged. I would never walk, talk ever again. And that's,
I know that feeling.
and at the time of the accident in 1990, I am a neuropsychologist, a board certified health psychologist, I'm a board certified sports psychologist. I had 3 offices, over 256 patients, and I had a 7-year-old and 2 10-year-olds at the time of the accident.
Wow.
So, and then is that I had an integrative team, and when they told me I wouldn't get better, I took everything I knew and what I was doing in my own practice, and I put Humpty Dumpty together again. And by 1997, I'd written the book, Coping with Mild Traumatic Brain Injury, and was teaching other doctors, and got better, and was traveling locally, nationally, internationally, letting people know how they could recover from brain injuries. And then in 2005, I got Lyme disease that affected my brain, and then went back to what I know. And then in 2008, I was in another auto accident, and
Another one.
Yes, a snowplow took off the front of my car, and I said to my team, I held up my book and I said, I did my Arnold Schwarzenegger. I said, I'll be back. And is that through using water therapy, neurofeedback, changing my diet, these are things that are on my website. And also,
What are your deficits now?
well, that's what I'm coming to. I mean, I'm going to finish up what happened.
Got all your strokes and everything else that's happened to you. Oh my God.
They found in 2008 I had a brain tumor, and it's in my frontal
Oh
lobe.
my God.
And then in 2010, I was sitting in a zero gravity chair, and I was knocked unconscious again. And so is that, and then now I'm, I'm now working 14-hour days trying to help people like us. This is, and I've written another book, came out in 2013 called Coping with Concussion, Mild Traumatic Brain Injury. And it covers everything we're talking about and all the different methods. And I've divided in 3 areas: that what is conventional is covered by insurance, what is kind of covered by insurance is under complementary, and then the alternative methods.
Yeah, in your country. I'm in Canada, and I'm
Yes.
in a different country.
Yes, but I've
So-
spoken, no, I've been in Barrie, and I've spoken in Canada.
Oh, you have?
Oh, yeah. And Kitchener.
Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, it's like an hour and a half away. Well, 2 hours.
Yes, I've been there, spoken many times. In Vancouver, I spoke at the
Really?
National Conference on Brain Injury. Yeah. I've been presenting my the information. In Ottawa, I've presented at the for the Brain Injury Association up there, the cutting edge technology, all the methods that I have found that works to help us recover. So to answer your question, Aaron, I have virtually very few symptoms anymore, knowing all the methods that I present and know work. And because I come from an integrative approach, looking at the physical, the psychological. So I look at the symptom and the causes. So you can have a headache, and I have a whole chapter on every single symptom, and then how you treat all the symptoms. But what causes that can be various. So like you can have a runny nose from, you have to treat the symptom of runny nose, but you can have that runny nose from a virus or a bacterial infection or an allergy. You have to figure out what's causing that runny nose and treat both. So I'm very passionate about that. So
Could you suggest anything to me? And it's a question for you. I've had a brainstem stroke, and I don't know what I can do about it. I've been to everybody. I've been to doctors. I've been to specialists. I've been to physiotherapy. Nothing helps.
How far are you from Toronto?
I'm about an hour.
Okay, there's Susan Day, who does neurofeedback, and the Thompsons, Michael and Joanne, I think is Joanne Thompson.
What's her name? Susan Day?
Susan Day, I'm almost sure. I can look this up for you.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
What does she do?
The neurofeedback, what I'm telling you, see, one of the things for all of us is to know there's neuroplasticity. And if the brain has been injured or torn, you can make reconnections again through neuroplasticity.
Yep.
Right.
What you and I were
So
talking
I've
about the other
heard.
day.
And this absolutely works. The Thompsons work out of Toronto. Susan Day is also in Toronto. It's covered by the insurance up there. And what in the parts of the country that is not covered, this is when I do remote training, but I don't want to sound like I'm promoting me. So I'm just letting you know their service.
Yeah. I get you.
Nationally and internationally, but the neurofeedback, what it does is, so for me, is I have a hole in my frontal lobe. I joke with people is that when you think of hubs, to go from Boston to Atlanta, you have to go Boston, Chicago, Atlanta. I don't have Chicago anymore, so they have to rewire me, and that's what the neurofeedback does. It rewires me.
Detroit, yeah.
What's
Do you
that?
have any
I said you have to find Detroit.
I can't even do Detroit.
I know.
do you have any physical deficits now?
Do I have any physical deficits? Yeah, the only thing I still have problems with is acoustically, is that if if there's background noise and you're talking, I still have that bigger ground. So my office is very, very quiet. And so that's, and also, I have no sense of time. People spend thousands and thousands of dollars to be Eckhart Tolle. I tell people in my speeches, I said, I'm just stoned all the time.
Yeah, I do one thing a day, and that's my goal. And once I've done that, I'm done.
But yeah, did you do any cranial sacral work?
Any what? Sorry?
Cranial sacral therapy. That will help the brainstem stroke.
No. No, There's been very little that's been offered to me for help. I had some the first year and a half after my stroke. I had physiotherapy, and that didn't help at all. And I'm at a loss, and I'm anxious and worried about finding something that will help. And I don't know what, if it's a brain thing, if it's a physical thing. All the doctors that I've seen all think that it's physical.
I'm going to interrupt it to help all of you. Is one of the things that you can go is on the brain health diet. And this, when you get on this diet, it's going to change your life. I'm going to tell it to you. So
will it? I'm skeptical. I'm a skeptic.
Okay, be skeptical.
So.
No, I know, be skeptical. Okay. The fact is, I'm going to say something that you're all going to agree to. If you've all seen someone who's been shit-faced drunk, right?
Yes.
Okay, everybody's in agreement? Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that a person who is shit-faced drunk has every single symptom we have of a brain injury. True? They have the slurred speech, they can't remember things, they can't sleep, they have
Equilibrium.
What?
I said they're equilibrium.
The equilibrium, they're cognitive, they're giggly, like you're talking about.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
So what I tell people is for 2 weeks, go on a elimination diet, okay, just for 2 weeks, and you take out of it any food that can be distilled or fermented that can be made into an alcohol. So I'm going to give you a perfect example. Sugar, cane sugar is rum. Okay? Corn.
Oh, I have sugar in my coffee every day.
You already are causing your brain injury to be worse.
Really?
Yeah.
Never would have thought that.
Yeah.
I mean, I eat everything because I had the stroke, so I figured whatever I eat is fine.
No, so what I'm saying by putting out the elimination diet is you eliminate for 2 weeks, and then you try that one thing, just one. Let's say rice. Rice is sake. White rice is sake. So you say, I just have to have rice again. And you put it into your diet. And if you see any of your symptoms of your stroke or your brain injury or concussion, that's a no-brainer. You don't do it.
Yeah, but I already have the symptoms of my stroke.
No. But
how will I?
But you don't realize that what you're eating is continuing your symptoms, Erin.
So what will happen, just say that I changed my diet of all things, which I don't think will work, but for the sake of argument,
okay,
just say I changed my whole diet and went on this special diet.
Yep.
Well, change. I've been in this position for 6 years, and I'm really.
I was in it for 7 years, and for 20, I've had my first was, I told you, in 1987. I've had 5 plus brain surgery, and also I will say one more thing, Erin. So I know you're questioning this. I'm currently, and you can go to my website of drdiane.com. You'll see that in 2 years ago I was diagnosed with aggressive lymphoma. And I was supposed to be dead in August of 2016. And I'm still here.
Wow.
I refused.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you're still with us.
Yes. So I know that changing your diet works.
Yeah, I don't know if it's as simple as that. I don't know. I'm skeptical still, so sorry. I mean, it's interesting hearing about it, but I'm skeptical.
Okay.
Yeah, because I live this every day, and it's a chore just to get to the kitchen. So I don't know how.
What did you have for
changing
breakfast this
diet
morning?
the day anyway. So
What did you have for breakfast this morning, Erin?
nothing. I had. Well, I haven't eaten in 2 days. No, didn't eat anything yesterday. Didn't eat anything today. Yeah, I'm not hungry, and that's been the case for 6 years. If I remember to eat, which I try and force myself to, I eat one meal a day, whatever's in the freezer and whatever will go in. So one-handed. I don't have two hands available to me, and I can only walk 10 steps. So
So go talk to the Thompsons and eat protein. Protein, omega-3s.
but it won't solve my stroke problem. I mean, I had a
had a
brainstem
stroke, Erin. I couldn't use my whole right side. I could not use my whole right side.
And you think that diet is responsible for why
No,
you
that's
are
the three things
better?
I told you. No, if you had met me in 1994, I had halted speech. I couldn't even talk like this. I talk like that. I could hold that, and I could not write. I could not use my whole right side.
Oh, was it the left side
No, my right
that
side.
was affected by
My left
your
side.
what?
They did the brain.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say as soon as you said speech.
Yeah.
Yeah, my right side was totally stroked, so.
So water therapy, neurofeedback, changing the diet. You're asking me the things that really helped. I'm telling you what worked.
What's neurofeedback?
What is neurofeedback?
Yeah, what exactly does that involve? I mean, I've never had neurofeedback before offered to me in Toronto, so I have no idea what it is.
Okay. You know what biofeedback is?
Kind of, generally speaking, so.
Mike, did you want to say something? Mike?
Yeah, I'm asking my wife some questions about the diet that you were talking about. And because we both have, aside from me being a brain injury survivor too, I'm similar to you. I have a medical background as well, and my wife's an RN as well. So it was interesting what you said. And I agree.
No, because we have on our team, Mike, we have a nutrition educator, we have an endocrinologist, we have a neurologist, we have a psychiatrist, all on my team. And is that I can't give you all the fancy. My nutrition educator has just put on. You'll see the blogs about grains and all that. That's Martha. So all the technical why it works. Yeah. She tells me why it works. I only know that I went, because I had a sinus infection, and they found it. I had food allergies. I was on an elimination diet for 6 months, and found I got these funky. I like carrots and broccoli and cauliflower. So when I had my brain injury, it dawned on me that maybe certain foods were causing me to be able to be less cognitive or affecting my moods or anything. And we were able to get down to these very specific foods. And then like an apple can be made into cider. See what I'm saying? Yeah. Corn can be made into whiskey. And so oats, wheat, barley, and rye can be made into, as they say in New England here, beer.
Yeah. So I agree with everything that you're saying there. I know that stuff.
Yeah. So what we do is we have people. I give them a list, okay, and I explain to them about these are the no's, and then they take one food and they add it, and they can actually see for them. Like there's one boy who can eat apples, you follow me, and it doesn't affect him. Grapes, they can make wine. For some, they can't do that. Now, so it's, and I do cheat on the weekends because I don't care. I'm Sunday if I could remember my ass from a hole in the ground. So
I do a lot of cheating. I do a lot of cheating.
so it's really trying to find the different foods, and the water therapy helps. And the so what Aaron asked, and I don't know if Aaron's still around.
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Yes. What neurofeedback is? Biofeedback, and I do explain this in depth on my website of drdiane.com. That's drdiane.com. You can go there and read it in detail. But what it is, that there's a way of getting feedback through equipment. And so there's the old, you remember the mood rings? That would be thermal biofeedback. When you put your finger on, it tells you if you were relaxed or not.
Yeah.
And so the muscular biofeedback is measuring the muscular system. What neurobiofeedback or neurotherapy is picking up the electrical system of the brain and is actually going out through an amplifier. It's like an EEG, going out through an amplifier, through the electrodes, through an amplifier to a screen, and you're getting feedback if your brain is functioning and how it's functioning. And by doing that, it's like operant conditioning with your dog, is that if you're doing the right thing, your dog gets a reward. If you don't do the right thing and you don't get any reward. And so by doing that, your brain learns to make new pathways. And so, and I have some nice videos on my website showing that.
Yeah, I've heard this a lot, that the brain can create new neural pathways and everything.
That's right.
I haven't seen that happen yet for me.
Well,
and I'm wondering, how long is it going to take? I mean, I'm the same way that I've been for 4 years.
And what I'm trying to say to you, that my patients have come in, and that someone like yourself, within a year and a half, are back totally to functioning. So about 50 sessions it takes. For like ADD, it's 20 sessions. For a brain injury and strokes, it's 50 sessions. Now, I have a guy who's totally paralyzed, and he's in a wheelchair, but he didn't get the water therapy, and I got him, and so he's now starting to move and do things after a year and a half. But his was fairly severe, and I have worked with people with locked-in syndrome. From my one guy, he fell 25 feet, and he can think like you and I, but he can't move his limbs, and we finally have gotten his limbs to move, and he still can't swallow on his own or use it, but he's now getting more natural bowel movements, so we're getting to that. Yeah.
Well, that's a good sign.
Yes. So these things work.
Diane, we have a lot of talking we can do, you and I, and my wife, because I have 5,000 members in the group, and
yes,
we have a parent that her son just recently had his brain injury, and it was severe, but he's trying to get back on his feet, and he just had the feeding tube removed and the trach removed and stuff. So I'd love you to meet Lita. She's really sweet. She's in Florida, and they're down by Orlando, if I recall.
If they're near Orlando or the Tampa area, is Michael Cohn down there is doing neurofeedback down there, and he's fantastic. What I do, Mike, is the people from all over, locally, nationally, internationally, call me. I do consults with them and find out what they need. It's like like a clothier, I custom fit, and then I find the like I was telling Aaron about the person up in Toronto, is that I know people in almost virtually all over the world, and I'll tell you a funny story in a moment. But to find the appropriate person to do the treatments also. So that's, as I said, I am really devoted to getting us better.
Well, it's networking, and that's what I'm glad, because I think that you and we can all work together with helping.
Oh, I agree. That's why I went on tonight, because when I saw this was going to do this tonight, is that, what I get frustrated is when someone's just this hit and miss, and if you say, here, I know something that absolutely works.
Yeah.
I tell people, I think, I believe, I know I'm a woman, and I know this works.
I have a psychologist that I've known since I was a teenager that we still keep in touch. And what I didn't know, this is almost 30 years ago, is in the meantime, since then, he's gone on to do neurofeedback and things like that. And he just sent me 3 documents in an email. He asked me to share it. And it touched base on neurofeedback and testing and things like that were done. I think he's in North Carolina now. But I'm going to put it on Facebook in our group, because I'm not going to share that all over the place. But I'll put it on a Simple Brain Injury Support groups, the secret group we have. And you can read it, or I can even email it to you, and we can go over it together, because it's really wild. And he's been doing years and years of testing as well, and the same things. I don't know what a lot of the technical terms are, but
what I've been very blessed about is in this field, which is relatively new, it's around 35 years old.
Yeah.
It's like I can say to you, like, I know Sigmund Freud or I know Einstein. I know all the manufacturers. I know all the people who do it. And I have, I can call them up at any time, like Siegfried and Sue Othmer is EEG Info. And we can actually customize, like someone needs help, I can find them that person they need for the type they need. That's why I was just talking about the Thompsons up in Canada.
What is the age group that you work with?
What did Ann say?
Oh, she said, what's the age groups that you work with?
From 3 years old to 92.
Oh my God, that's so amazing.
That's awesome, yeah.
You just touched my weak spot. Kids are my passion.
Yeah.
What would she say?
Kids are her passion. That's how we met. We
Yes.
both worked with children with special needs, so that was our.
So was I. Matter of fact, the federal law, I helped to write the federal law for special needs. How's that?
Awesome.
94, 142. How's that?
Sorry, what's the doctor's name again? And then I will Google him and research it.
Oh, it's Thompson. I could give you the
Doctor.
phone number. Wait a minute, hold on. I'll give you the actual phone number.
Oh my God, if you could, that would be so great.
Sure.
Sorry, I'm just going to go to
Wait a
a
minute.
place I can
It's Michael
enter the email address
Thompson.
or the phone number.
Where is it? Michael
Oh,
and
if you
Linda
have it, that
Thompson.
would be
Here it
great.
is. Doctors,
Okay,
Michael.
hold on 1 sec.
You ready?
Yeah.
They're in Ontario, Mississauga.
Mississauga.
Mississauga. Okay.
Pronounced Mississauga.
Okay. 905-803.
Girl, 5. Hold on. I'm typing with my left hand.
803.
Yep.
803.
803
8066.
8066.
I
Now,
got
if I was to call
One
and
minute.
make the
1 minute, Aaron. I just want to make a joke with Mike right now. I want you to know, when I was up in Canada, Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is that their currency's funny. They have loonies and toonies, right? and when I heard that, I went, "It's Looney Toony time! It's Looney."
Yeah.
bills.
They don't have normal money. It's loonies and toonies. So, what did you want to know, Aaron? The names. The name of the doctors are Michael and Linda Lynda Thompson. THOMPSON. Yes.
Okay.
And you just tell them that Dr. Diane told you to call. You just tell them that Dr. Diane told you to call.
Dr. Diane Linda Thompson.
And Michael Thompson. Yes.
And don't forget to ask about the loonies and toonies.
You like this?
Linda.
Yeah, I like
Thompson.
that.
Do children go through that same diet?
Yes. Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, anybody with any type of brain injury, so ADD, they come in and I change their diet, and guess what? Many of them don't even need the neurofeedback because you don't realize that the foods they're eating, with the HMOs and all this stuff, and yeah.
How long does it take to get an appointment with them? I mean, if I was to make all the effort to go way out there, I want to make sure it's worth my while. So not like some 15-minute little appointment where I just go in and out. So
you just tell them what you have, that you've had a stroke, and it's not going to be 15 minutes. I'm going to see if I can get Susan Day's for you too. I have Susan's on here. Hold on. Susan.
Well, I have Linda Thompson and Michael Thompson. So
I'm seeing if I got Susan.
Their phone number.
No, I don't have Susan's phone number in here right now, but she's up there in Ontario also.
So if you don't have, as long as you have Dr. Thompson's phone number, and that I can get in touch with them and find out what they need and say that you referred,
right?
I'd appreciate it very much. That I found their name through you.
Sure.
Okay. Well, I thought I'd ask first, so.
Oh, absolutely.
No, I will call them first thing Monday, and see what they have to say.
Yeah,
but they're in Toronto, and it's a long way.
Yeah. So you'll let me know.
I can't get there that easy. I take a handy van, and that's only by the city that it's in. So every city from here to Toronto, I have to transfer on. It would probably take me about 3 hours. So I want to make sure it's worth my time if I go. It's a long way.
Well, they may know someone's closer to you. See, I just don't know all the, people up there. That's why I said Susan Day is in Toronto, but I can't tell you where.
Okay. Well, I'll call both numbers anyway. So thank you very much for referring. So I'm willing to give them a call and see what they say.
Good.
I've been waiting. Hold on. We have a very patient member that just joined in, and we all got caught up in conversation. Let me see if she's still listening. Hi, Mary.
Mary's mute.
Yeah, I know, because I think she had some background stuff going on, and she didn't want to interrupt. She wrote a hello to everybody, but I don't think she saw it. It went directly to me on here.
Oh.
She said, hi, Michael and everybody else. It was about 15 minutes ago. Yeah, almost 15 minutes ago. She's muted still. Let me see. Ask her to start the video. Let's see. This is cool. I love Zoom because you can say, can you turn your video on?
That's right. I like it better than Skype, yeah.
Much better. Well, on a professional level, this is much better. We had, I was talking today on Facebook Live about the benefits of Zoom because, number one, it's harmless. It's not a rough install or anything like that. Anybody in the layman can install it and use it. And but the other thing is, too, is we've had people on, we've been doing this, the online stuff for almost 10 years. And, well, the conferencing. But we've had people that were having seizures while they were, we were on a conference call, and we were able to see how often it was happening. We were able to time them in between, see how long they lasted and stuff like that. So we were able to hear and know what was going on. Another one was somebody who was being verbally abused by their family. And it was happening while we were on the conference call. So we were witnessing all of this firsthand.
There's Mary.
And and then I heard it. Oh, you
Unmute,
heard
Mary.
this conversation. Yeah, I see her. We heard the conversation, and I had it saved. And I tell everybody, these are all recorded, and whether or not I post it is going to be, that's between us. If I get permission, and it's also recorded, so it's recorded that I get permission, we can do that. But yeah, this is so much better, but the quality's better. We could have up to 100 people on these conference calls, which is phenomenal compared to Skype. Right. And we could type to each other while we're doing this. I could file share. Right. We could do a whole YouTube thing. I've done PowerPoint presentations on here. Right. It's great. Yeah. And this is all the things that Brain Injury Radio Network didn't have.
I know.
And I loved it. I love it. It's really.
This is why I went on tonight when I saw this, even though I have a patient at 9:30. So I'm going to be getting off shortly, but I wanted to hear Mary. She can hear us. Mary, can you unmute you?
No, she has background noise. Yeah, she wrote a message to me.
Okay.
She's got background noise. Sorry. Look, she wrote a note and pointed at the screen and said background noise. Sorry. That's cute.
But I look forward to talking with you and Ann. And so.
Yeah.
I do too.
Is it Annie or Ann?
It's funny because it's ironic. You're usually here later in the afternoon right now, because what we're doing behind us is not the Christmas party, but this is going to be during the day. It's going to be a senior center during the day. And then I do the neurological brain injury stuff as well. And as we get more funding, I'm going to get an office next door so I can get a private office to do stuff.
2 things before I go, I really want to stress to everybody. This is big sign for everyone.
Okay.
Soy, once you've had a brain injury, soy, whether it's soy milk, soy flour, soy will cause mangiomas in the brain. And that's how I got my brain meningioma. And it's been documented at Dana-Farber. They've seen it. They said once there's a brain injury, you can go online and read all about this. So I tell people there's the no's that can be made into yeses, but the absolute no is soy, okay? Any soy products.
I'm going to be sharing a lot about what you do and your website and things like that with documentation, because I use referrals all the time. You know,
Right.
None of us are geniuses, but we do know a big thing is networking and routing people in the right direction. That's why this office is a brain injury resource center.
So, but I want to talk to you about the seniors. This is what's very, very important before I go off. Anesthesia and chemotherapy, okay? And also medications that affect the central nervous system, okay? Is that medications that affect the central nervous system will affect our brain. If my patient who had a multiple brain injury, we got her all better, and then I had talked to her and didn't tell her husband. They gave her compensine. Now she has dystonia. So taking medications that affect the central nervous system, you really have to see that the benefits outweigh the possible side effect like this woman has had. The other is anesthesia. If you've had multiple brain injuries, okay, anesthesia for the average person will have cognitive impairment from 1 day to 6 weeks.
Yeah,
When you've had a brain injury or multiple brain injuries, the chance of you having dementia, some form of dementia from anesthesia. I have had several patients. One guy, I joke with my patients. I called him Ding Ding Dong. Is that he was a hockey player who had an auto accident and then had knee surgery, and now at 50 years old he has dementia. Is that people who had vascular dementias. So I really tell people that if the surgery outweighs or the anesthesia outweighs the chance, and to ask your doctor, if I do this, is there a chance I can have dementia?
What's the risk
Is
factor?
there any other medication that I could take that would be helpful to me given my stroke? I'm not on any medication now. And it's just a preventative cholesterol pill and an aspirin. And is there some medication I could take that would help me increase my performance and everything, get better at life, get better at walking? I don't know if it's a medication thing or if it's a rehab thing, or
I'm going to sound like a broken record. Water therapy, changing your diet, and neurofeedback. How's those 3? I'm telling you, you don't need medication.
Yeah, you said that before.
Yeah.
So I just want to talk about one more thing, and that's chemotherapy.
Okay.
Is that Mike? Is that when I went in 2015, and they told me that because of this very, very, very rare form of lymphoma I have a tumor on my liver called primary hepatic lymphoma. They told me that I have Hodgkin's, non-Hodgkin's, T cells and B cells on this tumor, and that if I didn't do chemotherapy, I was going to be dead in August of 2016, I told them that chemotherapy can cause chemo brain. And
What's that?
That means a cognitive impairment from 6 months to 2 years or more. You have a form of dementia. And if you've had a brain injury, you're guaranteeing yourself. And I looked at my doctor and I said to him straight up, and it's on my website, I wrote what I wrote. I said, I'd rather have quality of life than be sitting there in a nursing home drooling.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's what I said.
100%.
You become that's a vegetable. Yeah.
I said, I like seeing my children, my grandchildren. I know who they are. I said, and if in 6 months I'm still alive and I don't know who they are, then I said, we're kinder to our animals. I said this to him. And so what I've done, I'm not recommending to anybody. It's what I've done. It's on my website, Alternative to Chemotherapy. And the fact is, I'm still here, and it's driving all Dana-Farber and Beth Israel Hospital totally nuts because they can't figure out how I can have aggressive cancer and be one of the healthiest people they've ever met.
Wow.
I have a member here that lives right by me. He's like right up the road from here, and he just showed up here for the first time, and his whole family is involved because he has FTD. And he's 56 years old. And you know
What's
the background
FTD?
with that
I'm
one.
sorry to interrupt.
It's frontal temporal dementia.
What is that?
It's a deteriorating brain disease. I guess that's really it. But it's like an early onset of
he was on the call last week, wasn't he?
No. He hasn't been on the call yet.
Okay.
He has, that's part of his deficit is motivation to speak out and things like that. That's part of the drawback there. But I just talked to his sister today, who lives in Ohio. But they're all here. They live right
Ohio.
Yeah,
I'm an Ohioan.
Yeah, I've been there. I like Cleveland.
No, I lived there. I grew up there.
Oh, no, I got you. Yeah.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
Before you leave, Diane, I know you only got about 10 minutes or a couple minutes before you have to go.
Yes.
If you want to send it to me here, you could do it on the chat. I need your email address because I want to keep in touch with you, and I want to send you the things that my friend who does the.
Very simple. Ready? It's a very simple. My name, Diane, at drdiane.com.
Diane at drdiane.com.
It's a very simple email address.
Okay.
Michael,
Yes.
how about someone affected by Agent Orange? You know whom I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Is there have you ever heard about that, Dr. Diane?
I have not treated anyone with Agent Orange, so I can't really talk about what we can and cannot do. But see, this is when something like this comes in, I can post it on the neurofeedback listservs and all the different, say, has someone ever treated it? And then someone can say yes or no. It's like one of my patients had Hashimoto and nobody knew what to do. So I've been working on figuring out that one. So, because my practice has been more, when you read about, I started I'm a trauma therapist, as I said, and a health psychologist. So, but no, I personally have not worked with anyone with Agent Orange, so I can't respond to it.
Okay. I just want your opinion on something else. Children on the autism spectrum.
That I can talk to you about because I did my doctoral dissertation on that. So that one I've presented at international conferences. What can I do for you on that one?
Oh, well, it is my educated guess that diet has a lot to do.
Oh, absolutely. Diet, the gut brain response, and also where it's at in the brain is right there. I work with autistic children. We've got them back. And out in Canada, going back to Aaron, is one of the world-renowned persons is Paul Swingle. He's in Vancouver. He has the largest practice for autistic children in the world. So,
Really?
yes,
Wow.
yes.
Go
He's
Canada.
He's the guy who did my brain.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, we're like one big country, so United States or Canada. I mean, we're all the same country at the end of the day. So.
No, wait a minute, Susan. They don't have Trump. No, come on.
Yeah, I know. It's a source of amusement.
What's Trudeau's name? What's his first name? Trudeau.
Donald. Justin Trudeau.
Justin Trudeau.
Yeah, Justin Trudeau. Oh, he's awesome. Yeah, everybody in Canada loves Justin Trudeau.
I know.
Yeah, we laughed that you guys actually elected Donald Trump. He's a reality TV star.
Is there anything else you need
That's
from me
what
before I'm going to go?
Diane, how can I contact you?
I could be funny. Is at 800-500-9971. That's my number. It's on my website.
Yeah.
Oh, on your website?
Yes. No. Where are you located?
I took down all her
Jersey.
In Jersey, you did. Because what I was trying to say is, I know that really someone excellent. I told you in New York City, but I know there's some people in Jersey who are really good to do neurofeedback, and
okay.
But
I
I
don't
don't.
where because I know
Neurofeedback.
we know a lot of people here in Jersey. I'm from Jersey too.
Yeah.
Sorry, what's involved in neurofeedback? Like if I was to schedule an appointment and got the appointment, what could I expect from going to a neurofeedback?
Look at my website. You're going to watch videos. You'll see what it looks like.
Oh, really?
I have videos all over it showing what is neurofeedback, how it looks, how they put the electrodes on.
What do they do with the results that they find?
You're getting feedback. That's what I'm saying. When something's off, it's like it's telling your brain. I go back to training a dog. If you want the dog to come to you, give it, a reward, and and that's why the dog. So your brain is rewarded for doing the right things.
Well, I don't feel as that, unfortunately. So
Aaron, are you
I tell myself that every day. So.
I'm gonna take a guess with this, and you tell me if I'm right. The electrodes go on your brain.
Right.
Whatever's functioning, it lights up. I don't know what the color.
No.
No?
No, even if it's not functioning, it's still lighting up because we get a brain map. And again, the brain maps are on my website, is that it will show either the deficiency of not enough, which is usually in blue. And if it's too much of that frequency, it's in a red. So what it's like is how I describe it is you want your brain to be like the tires of a car. Is you want all the tires to be inflated exactly the same, and you want them in alignment. Yeah. And right now, your brain is misaligned. And what it does, it gets a realignment. That's what it does. This Martin Brink, whose videos he puts it different way. He calls it like being in a choir and you're singing harmoniously. Right now, you're singing in discord. Your brain.
Right. Well, that's pretty easy for me to remember. The red signifies stop, which signifies
too much.
Not, yeah.
Yeah. And you could, all this is on the website and it's clear and yeah.
Oh,
one question for you, Miss Dr. Diane.
What, Anna?
I just want to ask you something, going back to the early onset of diagnosing children, because you said you go back to the age of 3.
Yeah, and just to let you know, before all this happened, I used to do neuropsych testing. So So I now review cases now and, read all the diagnostics. So you have a question on that? Yeah. Yes.
So a lot of, because I used to work in a school system.
Yes.
And a lot of what I was seeing was a lot of misdiagnosis.
Oh, absolutely.
Is it because the parents are not guided in the right manner of what should be done in order to get their kids tested the right way?
That's right.
Yeah.
So how would you go about?
And Anna, if you've been like in an auto accident, that neuropsych testing needs to be a forensic neuropsych testing versus a clinical.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
One. And what I wrote in my book, it's if it's a kind of an accident, you want a DTI, you want an SWI, and you want a forensic neuropsych. I put it very clear what you need for a court of law. And if you're doing for the educational system, you don't need the forensic, you want the clinical, but you want that DTI and the SWI. And in Canada, this is where I learned about it, is they do it as a matter of course. In the United States, we get a CAT scan or T3, T4, and I show on my website visually the difference between a CAT scan, which is like looking at a house with nothing inside the house.
Right, yeah.
And a T3, T4 looks like you can see the elephant in the house, but you don't see the people in the house. But if you want to see the people and the mouse in the house, you want to go and get an SWI, single weighted imagery. And if you want to see the electrical system, which is what is screwed up in S, that's only you need a DTI. That's a diffuse tensor imaging. And that shows the electrical system, which again is on my website. You'll see it.
Well, here's the problem that I keep running into with a lot of parents who are looking to get help for their children. One is insurance payment.
Yes.
And the second one is how to go about getting doctors that are covered under their insurance. The majority of the time, the doctors who are under their insurance are doing the basics.
Right.
They're not going into detail. And then
most of them don't have a neurological background.
That's one. And two, they only get paid for 15 minutes.
Right. Well, that's another thing.
That's another thing.
They do the basic assumption of basically what I see is what I write down.
That's right.
And the next follow-up is, well, I think your child should be placed on this medication.
That's right.
I'm against medication. I don't believe in that.
Now, I have to qualify that. And before we go, all of you are going to laugh because you won't believe this. But before I'm going to address the medication. If you have diabetes, you wouldn't tell someone just to do hypnosis, which I do, okay? And I've worked with hypnosis for cancer when you see what I'm using for my treatments. But is that there's a time and a place. I mean, if you have a child who is bipolar, who happens to have a concussion, you don't not take him off the medication for his bipolar. See what I'm saying? Is that
there's some things that medication's needed for.
That's right.
Right. Yeah.
And like there are people who need antibiotics. There's no question. But you're going to all laugh about this. You're not going to believe this. I name every single patient by a dog. And so my one kid came in with anxiety, and I said to him, "Do you know what a Chihuahua is?" And he says, "Yeah." I said, "And do you know what a Newfoundland is?" He said, "No." I said, "That's the calmest dog possible." I said that the most anxious Newfoundland is still calmer than the calmest Chihuahua. I said, "You're an anxious Chihuahua. When I'm done, you'll not be anxious, but you'll still be a Chihuahua." And he said, "Oh, my parents are Chihuahuas too." And another patient came in. I said, "You're a Jack Russell." She said, "I got 4 of them at home." So you have to.
Well, that's I'm getting back to before sorry to cut you off, is that I understand that at some degree, there are children who will need that medication. However, when there are children now who are given medication that are not for them.
That's right.
At an early age, and because they're given that medication, they have long-lasting effect.
That's right. And as a matter of fact, there was on one website, on some Facebook page, I went off the deep end because some mother, her 6-year-old, had a concussion. The doctor put him on medication, and she said, "I'm concerned." And somebody wrote on there, oh, why didn't you give him Botox? Another person said, why didn't you give him cannabis? I went off the deep end. This is when I wrote my recent blog. It says, help, I'm perplexed. I've spent 6 years of my life writing and researching to write my book and getting medical approval for everything I've written. And there's somebody saying, give some kid some cannabis. I mean, hello, I'm agreeing with you, Anna, is there's a time and a place, and you have to look at the symptom of that, the symptom, and the cause of that.
Right.
This is what we're talking about.
Well, what I'm going to do is there's a lot of family groups that I belong to, and I've been pretty much saying the same thing as you're saying, that go through detailed before making the final decision.
Right.
And don't be so quick to jump to a quick fix medication.
Right.
Or you know the root of the problem.
And then also, I'm going to go a step further. And again, if you go to my website, you'll see my blog on symptoms and causes.
Right.
Okay. And then the other one is also, I put in my 5-prong approach. It's physical, psychological, which can be biochemical, emotional, spiritual, and energy. Now, some people getting Reiki or acupuncture is their energetic system's off. And so that's another whole area. And so, and there was one kid who got, his concussion at church. And when he was all better, he still had symptoms, and because he thought God was punishing him. And when he talked to his pastor, his symptoms went away. So there's a lot of things that are involved, and not just, and he's definitely not one you would give him medication on. Right. So
what I'm going to do is I'm going to post to the sites that I am, because I've been trying to help out parents on these particular sites that are struggling in the school system, especially when getting a feedback with their child IEP. And the majority of children in Pennsylvania, you hear a lot of parents who the school system can't deal with it, so they're homeschooled because of this.
And one thing that on our team, we have Amy Karras, who's a cognitive therapist. She's a speech and language pathologist, but she helps with the 501s. As I said, Anna, I helped to write the law for the federal law of 94-142 when I was with and so these things to go in and get the right IEPs are so important. And yeah.
Well, I'm gonna post your email, your webpage to the sites I belong to.
Thank you.
So they could read and see, what I've been trying to say and what I am telling them, that there is factual information behind it, and maybe they could reach out to you, or you could point them in the right direction, because
absolutely.
I could tell you from personal experience in working in the school system, the parents are not getting the services.
They're
misinformed. They're absolutely
desperate.
And there's a lot of cover up.
Well, I'm happy that I chose to decide to get on your radio show tonight, because I was sitting there and going, I didn't do my progress notes for all my patients for the week. I've been sick, and I sat there and I saw this and I said, if we can work together, to help anybody, this is what we get up for. Because, my vision when I was sitting there when I got better.
Poor Mary.
is that when I sat there, and you've all seen the movie Titanic, and they're rowing away, and I'm saying I can go back being a trauma therapist and not go and do what I'm doing. And I saw there and I said, I have to go back. And that's when I knew I had to write the book, and I've been devoting my life since 1994. And
you have to go.
So.
Mary just posted a little note here. It says she lives in Colorado and her neurologist is recommending cannabis.
Well, the answer, Mary, is that if you've been in chronic pain, my patients, when we were talking about having the stroke, my patient who is in chronic pain has had very good success with that. My patient with seizures, that is the locked-in syndrome.
Yeah.
We make great progress with the neurofeedback. He has the seizures. We go back. So the cannabis has helped him. So there are certain situations where I have seen it with my own patients, the cannabis has worked. Infrared for my Parkinson's patients has worked. So photomodulations, light therapy, depending on what's needed. So it's not, I don't rule it out.
She just said yes, spasticity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that would be for the plasticity, to rein, like we were talking about the strokes and movements, is there, you can go on to Vielight, Vielight. You can learn about the photomodulations. So depending on what people need, there's so many different things, and this is what I customize rather than, the book is generic. This is what I try to do, is give specifics like you're asking, Anna.
Yeah.
So I got to get going.
Yeah.
How do I get your book?
It's on the website?
Oh.
It's on the website. And I think if you look under there's a promotional for this week, because I was so angry, you'll see under my blog that I said I gave a half off. So you still get half off this. Okay.
Okay, so I could early Christmas gift myself.
Also, for those people who cannot read, they can go on to getting the Kindle version, and the Kindle will read it for them.
Oh, see, I like that. I love the audio.
You
I have a question.
You can do like the iPad or the Kindle, and Siri can read it for you, and Kindle it reads. Yeah.
I have a question. Is there anything you can recommend in terms of getting to sleep at night? It's been 6 years, and I have never had a good night's sleep.
Yes.
And I take a prescription sleeping pill, and it doesn't help.
Yes. And the answer is there's a company up in Canada, but I represent all the companies in the United States and in Canada, and there's 4 companies. It's called a CES, cranial electrostimulation, and it is a CES device. It's on my website, and I represent the one in Canada, which is Mind Alive, and also, but I represent AlphaStim, Mind Alive, Fisher Wallace, and there's only 4 companies in the world right now, and it's a cranial electrostimulation. It is for FDA approved in the United States for insomnia, depression, and anxiety, and absolutely works.
Well, that's what I have, so I'm just wondering if there's anything other than this pill that I take before I go to bed at night, which doesn't seem to be working very well.
So the answer is yes, Erin. Go to the website. You read it. I have all the documentations. Yes, I got to go because I have a patient waiting.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Good talking to you all. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I was just wondering in terms of sleep, like what could I do to possibly get a good night's sleep? I only sleep maybe 3 restorative sleep. And then I'm up and I'm down and I'm up and it's awful. And I'm constantly exhausted day. Is there anything I can take? Is there anything I can do in terms of sleeping better?
She she signed off. So I would check the web. She said on her website there's going to be information on there.
Yeah, aside from that one person, which I will gladly check out a website and everything else, just wondering if any survivors could offer me any suggestions.
What were the other ones? We just knew about like the herbal type of stuff. Melatonin.
No, they don't work. Like melatonin or something like that. They don't work for me. I need prescriptions, strength machines in order to at least get my 3 hours.
She's tried that. That's what she said. You've tried Ambien. You've tried the sleep.
I've tried them all, and I'm on the strongest prescription sleeping aid that I can get, and it's still so. Yeah, any suggestions? I'm happy to hear. Light therapy. Heard of that before? So light therapy is any therapies like that? Like, would that be good for me to do at home, which would help me go to sleep?
It might be.
Yeah, it sounds like such a simple thing. I know, going to bed at night, but it takes me 2 hours, 3 hours to fall asleep,
Mhm.
and then I only sleep for 3 hours.